Reprint is a word that is either loved or dreaded in the Pokemon community. Whether or not you just want to crack packs and have some fun, or you're collecting sealed product to hold for the long term, reprints can have a good or bad effect, whichever way you look at it. Personally, I think they're great. And there are some reprints coming for some Sword and Shield era sets and Scarlet and Violet. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so there are some reprints on the horizon. Now we are deep in Scarlet and Violet territory right now, but there are still some reprints coming for the Sword and Shield era. Now we've just had some reprints / restocks of certain sets over here in the UK, probably over the last like 2 months or so. We've had Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, and a very small amount of Brilliant Stars. But apparently there's going to be more of all three. So Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, and Brilliant Stars. Nothing on Astral Radiance, which is a bit odd. I don't know why. Maybe it's not really selling very well. But we're getting Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, and Lost Origin, which kind of makes sense because, you know, they're kind of the sets that came out last year. We still have a lot of Crown Zenith that's still around at the moment, so that's not too bad. Pokemon Go, there's a ton of it around, so there's no point reprinting that either. But booster boxes of Lost Origin are getting quite pricey, to be fair. So is Silver Tempest and so is Brilliant Stars. And we've seen a reprint of Scarlet and Violet base set. Now you may be thinking, these booster boxes are super cheap already and they're really easy to get hold of. Yeah, so expect them to drop even further and expect the single card prices to be dropping as well. So we'll be taking a look at TCG Player at these sets to see what has been going on because, well, it's a biggie. Okay, first up, let's take a look at Silver Tempest. Now I actually quite like Silver Tempest. I do feel like there's some good cards in there. Obviously got the Lugia Chase cards. And booster boxes are above that 140 price point, so you know it is creeping up. As you can see, over the past 3 months it has creeped up a little bit. If we go back to the last 6 months, this is a set that has been climbing, you know, from 125 up to, well, 145 at that one point. It is kind of going up. We've seen it with like Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign, them breaking 140 and above. Now those sets are not due to be reprinted. There's nothing saying that they're going to be reprinted, so Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, any of those kind of older, you know, Sword and Shield era sets, no, but the most recent ones that came out last year, we're going to get some goodies coming. So we can expect the Silver Tempest booster boxes to drop in price. However, over here in the UK, the booster boxes for Silver Tempest hasn't been that expensive. They tend to go for around about 105, 110. They are cheaper, so it's interesting to see how things are going to go with the market regarding Silver Tempest. If we're going to get any more over here, we could be looking at under £100 a box, which would be amazing. And I do feel like Silver Tempest is a good set to open. Pull rates aren't too bad. There are some big chase cards in it, like the Lugia. And if we quickly take a look at the Lugia right now, it has been dropping around $171. Currently, over the past 3 months, it has been going down from the kind of 190. We go back 6 months and this card's just been dropping. I think it's pretty much been dropping since its release. And it is going to be dropping even more, especially if there's more Silver Tempest hitting the shelves. Not the easiest card to pull, of course, but if you do have it, expect it to be dropping down in price. You know, and if you're looking to complete your Silver Tempest master set, it's going to be a good time to get some packs and have some fun. And if you want to collect for the long term, again, great time to pick up some booster boxes as well. It's going to be pretty cheap, so that's one thing to look forward to. Okay, on to Lost Origin, which is another set which is due to have a reprint. $150 for a booster box has dropped down. It has actually dropped from its high at nearly $170 a box, which is quite expensive. In my opinion, I do feel like Lost Origin is kind of like a top 3 set in the Sword and Shield era. I do rate it. I really think it's a great set. Strong trainer gallery, big chase cards. Go back 6 months, right? We can see what the trend is of this booster box, and it's going from 124 and, like I say, up to that 170, and it's kind of gone down a little bit. Very similar price to the Silver Tempest booster box, but still on the upper end, on the little bit higher side of things. But I do expect it to drop even further. We go back a year and this set has just gone stronger. You know, really has performed incredibly well. Again, over here you can look at booster boxes for anywhere between like 110, 115, which again I think is a really good price. If we do get some reprints over here, however, then again, like Silver Tempest, we can see these booster boxes dropping even further. And of course, all of the single cards are going to be dropping in value as well, because there's going to be more product being open, more readily available. And, you know, for that Giratina, it is still really expensive. You know, we take a look at this price. Look at this Giratina, guys. It is dropping. You know, $300 is still expensive. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still really high. You know, it's, what, second most expensive card in Sword and Shield era? So it is really good. It is doing pretty good. But it has dropped from $330, you know, down. So it's dropped by about $35 over the past 3 months. We go back 6 months, and it's been doing well. Like, overall, it's up by over 6 months. And we go back since its release, and this card's been going from strength to strength to strength, right? It came out of the gates really high, then it dropped down to as low as 216, and it's been going up since, and it's still, you know, sitting around that $300. Will it drop further? Yeah, I think we could be seeing maybe 250. I don't see it being under 200, but maybe 250 is probably where it'll sit at for a time being, and then Lost Origin will be out of stock, and then it'll go back up. But until then, still big cards, but it will drop in price. All right, on to Brilliant Stars. Now, Brilliant Stars is an interesting one because it is a good set. It is a fantastic set. I think it's super stacked, right? And the pull rates are really good as well. Great set to open. It's a very good set to open as well. $146. Now, it was one of these sets where I thought it was going to go the same price trend as Evolving Skies, and it was heading there. If we look back 6 months, it was a 180 or 185, so it was actually higher than what Lost Origin got to. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute, it's going the same route as Evolving Skies, unless there's going to be a reprint or a restock. And there was a restock. There was a restock over here, very small one, but there was also a restock over in the US, and the market adapted. The crazy thing was it was at 180, but you could get on the Pokemon Center for retail. Work that one out. It's a bit weird, right? So it started to drop to kind of like sell out and make sense at 146. I do see it continuing to drop if of a substantial reprint coming for Brilliant Stars. How low will the boxes go? Don't know. Over here, you could pick them up for around 135, 140. So they're basically retail essentially for Brilliant Stars, which is on the higher price point over here anyway. I think it's up there for the one of the most expensive booster boxes in the Sword and Shield era over here in the UK. It's more than Fusion Strike. It's probably about the same as Chill and Rain, but it's more than like all the others except of course Evolving Skies. But it is getting to that price point. So yeah, I would welcome a potential reprint. The single card prices though, however, for Brilliant Stars have been falling pretty much across the board. If you're looking to get cards for your master set and for your collections, now's a really great time. So we take a look at the Alt Art Charizard. I absolutely love this card. $137. This has been dropping, guys, over the past 3 months from $165, but around about $30 in 3 months. Over the last 6 months, it was nearly 200, you know, 185, and it's been going down. Look at that, it's been crazy. And then since its release, it hit a peak at 210. That was back in what, October time, end of October, and since then it's just been dropping. If we expect more booster boxes, I expect this to drop even further. Maybe go as low as 100. That'd be pretty sweet to go and grab that. You know, over here in the UK, I've been seeing this drop in price. I have been seeing it. It was going for consistently around 130, 140. Now it's starting to be lower. I literally saw one today, £90 on Facebook. To be fair, the quality was actually not too bad. I have to admit, it wasn't too bad. On eBay again, around 100, 110. It has come down a little bit. I do expect this to continue to drop if we're going to be getting more Brilliant Stars. So, you know, it's looking pretty good. We have a quick look at Astral Radiance. Now, Astral Radiance, there's nothing saying that there's going to be a reprint of this, but let's just take a look at what's been going on with Astral Radiance. $121. So it's kind of gone up from where it was, of course. I mean, obviously we've seen the chart go down, but overall it has gone up. You know, 110, you know, looking nearly 130, but then it's settling around 120. It's kind of the middle of the road, expensive on the levels of booster boxes, but if you look over the past year, it has gone up. There's no reprint of this coming, then I do expect this to again slowly trickle up. Over here you can pick these up for 105, 110. Not super expensive. They're kind of on the same level with Silver Tempest and Lost Origin. That's one thing to take into consideration. I don't think they're going to reprint this. I kind of feel like it's probably the weakest out of the 4 trainer gallery sets. I probably feel like it's probably one of the least opened and collected in between all 4 of those sets, to be fair. Then we have the Alt Art Machamp coming in, and he's still sitting pretty at over $100, although however he has been dropping quite a bit, and he's been pretty stable. You know, even in the last 6 months, it's always been above $100. I expect it to stay around $100. I don't expect it to drop unless there's a considerable reprint. Even if we go back the past year, look how steady this Machamp has been, sitting around that one. You know, went up to 126, so around 100 to 120, 125. So it is, you know, holding pretty well, but it would drop if there's more Astral Radiance. And finally, let's talk about Evolving Skies. There's no sign of any potential reprints of this coming, although it has broke $400 a box. It is crazy. I mean, would I like to see a reprint of booster boxes specifically? I would. But, you know, we are getting Evolving Skies in other forms of product. We've been getting them in the Costco stacking tins, which have been very popular. I still think the Charizard UPC is a great way to get Evolving Skies with a bunch of other good stuff in it, because UPCs are pretty cheap right now. So there are ways to get a hold of Evolving Skies booster packs, but booster packs are getting quite pricey. We're looking around that, basically coming up to $9. Over here in the UK, they're about £9 to £10 a pack. They are on the uptick for Evolving Skies booster packs. We're looking at Sun and Moon era prices, to be fair, of this booster box and booster packs themselves. So I know everyone wanted a reprint, but I really don't see it happening. I mean, I have mine in my collection. I'm not looking at getting any more, and hopefully I don't need to sell them for any reason, but I think they're gonna, you know, break 500 at some point. But we are on about 400, which is, like I say, close, which is basically on that Sun and Moon era level. So that's what's going to be coming over the next few months. The reprints / restocks are supposed to be dropping in July, so expect the market to react. I mean, already we've seen some of it drop in already, especially, you know, Lost Origin and Silver Tempest. I do expect them to continue to drop, depending on how big this wave will be. But reprints, yeah, I like them. I'm here for it. Hopefully we'll get some, you know, potentially older sets, but I don't think we will. But these are great sets to get reprinted anyway. I do feel like it's going to have an impact on the market, especially on those big top-end single cards. If you want to know what's been going on with the single card market with some big climbers and some big fallers, then make sure to click on this video right here. And if you want to watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that is it from me in this video. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.